Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here and welcome back to another random match here on WWE 2K16. Now this is a match that could potentially happen soon as Austin Aries makes his debut next Friday night at NXT TakeOver Dallas. Put him against Sami Zayn. Like I say, potentially could happen because I think Sami Zayn's actually moved up onto the main roster now. So Aries, I can't imagine him being down NXT for too long. It's been interesting. I'll tell you what, Austin Aries is spelled incorrectly as well, isn't it? Aries is supposed to have an I in the middle of the R and the E. So well done. Whoever's created this core, well done. In fairness, the core is fantastic looking. You just spelt the name wrong. That's a bit... unless I'm going wrong, I always thought Aries had an I in it. And let me know if I'm wrong in the comment section below, because I'm assuming whoever created this core would have checked that. But I'm sure Aries had an I in it. And there is Austin Aries, the greatest man that ever lived. Yeah, I'm sure that's wrong. I'm sure Aries has got an I in it. Well, that's a bit annoying. I'll get that changed before we start doing our NXT Dallas random matches. Like I said in a previous video I've uploaded, I think it was a CM Punk versus Nakamura video, basically on Friday, which is not going to make any sense to you if you're watching this retrospectively. But basically on Friday coming up is NXT TakeOver Dallas. Now what I'm planning on doing on that pay-per-view is I'm going to... Oh, he's got the wrong... There we go. What I plan on doing on that pay-per-view is I'm gonna upload on the day a random match based on every single match that is going to be on the pay-per-view. So we're going to have, of course, Austin Aries' debut against Baron Corbin. We've got the Revival, Dash and Dawson taking on American Alpha, Jordan and Gable. We've got Apollo Crews taking on Elias Sampson. Sami Zayn taking on the debuting Shinsuke Nakamura. We've got Bayley taking on Asuka for the Women's Championship, and of course Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship. So I'm going to upload all of those matches on Friday coming up before NXT TakeOver, just to really get you guys salivating for the event, getting more excited than what you already are for that event. So keep an eye out for that. And of course I will be doing the same thing on Sunday for WrestleMania. We've got Triple H versus Reigns, we've got The Undertaker versus Shane O'Mac in a Hell in a Cell, we've got Lesnar versus Ambrose, we've got Charlotte versus Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. We're going to have the New Day versus the League of Nations in a 6-man tag, because that's what the game allows me to do. We're going to have a 6-man ladder match for the... Well, I want to do it for the Intercontinental Championship, but I'm pretty sure the game will make me have to do it as a Money in the Bank. I'll have to double check on that one. That's going to be Owens versus Zayn versus Stardust versus Ryder versus Sin Cara versus Ziggler. We'll have Kalisto versus Ryback, which will probably be a very small watched video. The Usos versus the Dudley Boys. Natalya, Paige and Brie Bella versus Lana, Tamina and Naomi. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho, and of course a 20 or 30 man Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Not decided on what that's going to be. I've heard rumours it's going to be 20 men this year, and of course we will be doing that as well. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be uploading all of those videos on Sunday for WrestleMania, as well as all the NXT videos this Friday for NXT TakeOver. Enough about that. Let's have a quick conversation about the match which is happening right now. I was so excited when Austin Aries debuted in NXT. Austin Aries is one of my favourite wrestlers in a very, very long time. I was so glad when TNA finally moved him up to the main event picture rather than having him in the X Division. He was great in the X Division, but as a world champion, Austin Aries just took it up that one more level. As a face as well, he's just incredible. He's got a lot of charisma and he's a fantastic wrestler as well. So I think it's a great signing by WWE and by NXT, and hopefully he's not going to be one of these guys that will spend his entire career in NXT just putting other guys over like Rhino. I'm hoping there is a long-term plan to have Austin Aries move up to the main roster, and I think it's doable as well with the potential, as I mentioned in the previous video with CM Punk and Nakamura, with the potential of a roster split again coming up pretty soon. Strength and depth in the roster is going to be a key thing, and guys like Nakamura and guys like Austin Aries making their debut, and of course Gallows and Anderson also making their debuts pretty soon. Now I think about it, when you see a company sign up Gallows, Anderson, Aries, Nakamura, AJ Styles, that's 5 massive signings since January this year. It makes you look like they're really bolstering up their roster for a potential roster split. And potentially with Eric Young and Bobby Roode being free agents now as well, those two could be added to the list as well. So it's a possibility, it really is. Something we'll have to keep an eye on over the next few weeks. I'm really hoping it does happen. As I mentioned in that CM Punk Nakamura video, the WWE marketing have been asked to to make 2 separate entrances, one for Raw, one for SmackDown. The Raw one had Cena, it had Kevin Owens, it had other guys as well, and also had Brie Bella and Charlotte, whereas SmackDown had Roman Reigns, it had Dolph Ziggler, it had New Day, and it had Paige as well. So the way that Cena doesn't feature on the SmackDown and Reigns doesn't feature on the Raw really makes me think that there's a possibility that they are looking at a potential roster split, and those are just a few of the names that we know are going to be guaranteed in each one. The one that really gets me the most is the fact that Paige is on SmackDown and Charlotte is on Raw, because that would mean to me that there's a potential of having 2 separate women's divisions, one on each roster. So like I say, I'm really hoping there is a roster split, because it gives a lot of people the opportunity to really showcase their talents, because we're not going to have a Roman Reigns dominating the main event picture of both Raw and SmackDown. You might dominate SmackDown, but then somebody else can dominate Raw, so it gives us a chance to see a lot more variation throughout a week of wrestling as well, and I really hope that is going to be the case. So let me know in the comment section what you think below. Do you think we should have a roster split again in WWE, or do you think it's not a very good idea? I think it would be great for the one main reason of reducing the amount of injuries WWE get, because it really would cut down the amount of wrestling that each of their guys do. Austin Aries going for the first pin of the match here against Sami Zayn. 1, 2, it's only for a 2 count. And I can't wait to see Austin Aries debut this weekend. And the one thing I would say, next weekend, sorry. One thing I would say, it is going to be this weekend. One thing I will say, I keep going round in circles. One thing I will say is that I really hope Austin Aries wins. I can't see any point in them bringing in Aries and then him losing to Baron Corbin. To me, that wouldn't make any sense. So I would imagine that Aries is going to pick up a pretty good victory in that match. I hope I'm right in that one. I think that'd be pretty good, actually. Say Baron Corbin has done a lot of dominating over the last few months since he's been in NXT. He's come in, he's completely halted the run of Bull Dempsey, which eventually led to Bull Dempsey leaving the company. He also defeated Apollo Crews, the first person to beat Apollo Crews at NXT TakeOver London as well. So Baron Corbin's been on a real hot streak, so for him to lose to Austin Aries would really do well for putting Austin Aries over. I don't think it would weaken Baron Corbin too much either, so it's an interesting one. I'd like to see that happen, I really would. And then again, the same thing like I said with Nakamura the other day. How long is Austin Aries going to be based in NXT for? That's the interesting question. Is it a possibility he's going to come into NXT, make his debut, and then spend a couple of months then making it to the main roster with a roster split? Or it's an interesting one to think. It could really go either way. I think with the likes of Finn Balor looking to move up to the main roster, we've got obviously Hideo Itami's still out injured. Sami Zayn's moved up to the main roster now. There's rumours that Samoa Joe will be going up after WrestleMania as well. I think with all those guys going up, you need new signings like Austin Aries, like Shinsuke Nakamura, just to keep NXT at the high level it has been for the last couple of years. I know there's a lot of other guys like Apollo Crews and people like that are going to take a step up, I would imagine. And I think that's a good thing. I think the whole evolution of NXT has to be guys do well, they move up to the main roster, and then other guys come in and show what they can do, and then they move up to the main roster, and it's an ongoing cycle. You can't stick with the same roster all the time for NXT, because effectively it is a developmental for WWE. So these guys they're coming in, they're being taught, and some of you guys might say, why is Nakamura and why is Austin Aries coming into WWE and having to work in NXT before going up to the main roster? And I think the main reason is because WWE are different to other companies. Because of the way the TV works, there's different things you have to do to make sure you utilise the cameras correctly. If not, they're not going down there to be taught how to wrestle, because of course Austin Aries is a fantastic wrestler. He'd out-wrestle most of the guys on the main roster. But he's going down to NXT mainly to be shown where the cameras are, when you're doing a promo, where you need to be looking, where the certain cameras will be placed, what you need to do, and it's all more stuff like that. It's all about the production value rather than the wrestling, and that's why guys like Nakamura and Austin Aries do end up in NXT for a little bit of time. There's the pin there by Sami Zayn. 1, 2, it's only for a 2 count. And Austin Aries has been busted open, and we've seen a lot of blood. I noticed in the Nakamura match, this gets confusing for me now. The Nakamura match I've literally just recorded, but would have been uploaded 2 days ago for you There was a lot of blood in that one as well. Nakamura busted open pretty heavily early on. But that match went on for a very long time, that one. It was a really good match. If you've not seen it, I suggest going back in the playlist and watching that one. CM Punk versus Nakamura. It was a really good match. Lots of false finishes. And like I said, Nakamura gets busted open pretty badly as well. Great German suplex by Sami Zayn. And I do like Sami Zayn. He was a guy that I liked his ability on the indie circuit, but I never really got fully into the gimmick of El Generico. And I really like him now. And I think the thing that really made a lot of people really like him was that little match series he had against Cesaro. That was incredible. Especially that best 2 out of 3 falls match as well. That was, I think out of all the matches that have happened on NXT over the years, I think that match between Sami Zayn and Cesaro, best 2 out of 3 falls, I think that was the one match that really brought NXT to the forefront for me. NXT was always had the best guys, but it was matches like that that really made you realise that just how strong the roster was and how talented the roster was as well, and just the way that NXT was being written differently to the main roster as well. You can definitely see that NXT has a lot of different influences than what the main roster does, and that's the whole Triple H Vince McMahon argument, I suppose. Austin Aries now lining Sami Zayn up. Aries looking to go for possibly a brainbuster. Spins it beautifully, keeping Zayn away from the ropes. Aries straight into the pin, wasting no time. This could be all 1, 2, and no, Sami Zayn kicks out on the brink. I mean the literal brink of 3. And you see the blood still streaming down the face of Austin Aries. I like this Austin Aries, but I don't know, from some angles he doesn't look fantastic, and he's not going for another brainbuster again, is he? Straight away he is, you know. Second brainbuster by Austin Aries and Sami Zayn, and surely there's no way Zayn's going to get out of it. No, Aries hasn't even gone for the pin. Zayn straight back up. Aries slides at the back of that potential scoop slam, sending Zayn into the corner. Now Zayn busted open as well. Aries slowly taking Zayn up onto the top turnbuckle. What does he have planned here? Oh, Zayn with a back elbow fighting away and catches Aries with that crossbody into the pin. Could he steal it here? 1, 2. No, it's only a 2 count. You see the NXT fans are loving this one. I don't blame them. It's been a really good match again. Sami Zayn, there's the blue thunder bomb, holds it for the pin. Could that be enough? 1, 2. No, again, Aries kicks out. Big drop kick there by Zayn, straight to the chin of Aries. And now Zayn's going up top. What is he looking for here? Oh, Zayn dived down and Aries caught him with that big elbow. 1, 2. He's caught it as well. Shades of Chris Hero there. Zayn dived and Aries caught him with that big elbow to the face. See, Zayn went for that belly-to-belly suplex earlier on the match, but Aries reversed it. And so, of all the moves that happened in this match, the replays aren't very good, are they? There was that first rolling forearm, and that's effectively what he used to win the match as well. That's one of his signature moves, that rolling forearm. Sami Zayn bringing Austin Aries backwards. Was this the... Yeah, this was the blue thunder bomb. We thought at this point, after Aries had caught Zayn with 2 brainbusters, we thought that Zayn could have stolen the match there and then. And here you see Zayn going up to the top rope. You see Zayn going for the dive, and Aries straight up and caught him again with that big elbow. Shades, like I said, of Chris Hero or Cassie's Ono, if you will. And it was enough to keep Sami Zayn down for the 3 count. So Austin Aries showing, to us at least, in this random match that he has what it takes to make it big in NXT. Of course, tune in on Friday as well, as you'll see Austin Aries taking on Baron Corbin on this game. Sort of a preview to TakeOver Dallas. And I'm hoping that he pulls out the victory at TakeOver Dallas as well. It would be a great start to him. It would seem a bit pointless to me for him to lose, but there you go. Anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Of course, if you have, then be sure to hit that like button. And, of course, hit that like button if you'd love to see this match in real life as well. And of course, if you are new around here, then be sure to subscribe for a lot more WWE 2K16 footage. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.